Hello guys, and welcome back for a new review. Today we're going to take a look at something pretty cool. The Henshin Cyborg from 1998, made by the Takara Corporation, which is a sister corporation to Hasbro. As some of you may know, the Hasbro Corporation made G.I. Joe and then licensed it out to Palitoy in England. And Takara in Japan, as well as a whole host of other countries. But back in the day, they made the Henshin Cyborg, which was basically a G.I. Joe body with robot parts kind of inside of it. And this in 1998 was a relaunch of that line. New design, same concept. And that's what this is. This is the Henshin Cyborg from 1998. This particular one is a Toys R Us exclusive from my understanding. And it had the copper interior, which is a really cool look. This is my very first Henshin Cyborg. I don't have any of the vintage or any of these ones. It also spawned the MICRONAUTS line, all of which I'm aware of, but I've never had one, so it's really cool. I've seen these on Jeff Skunkworks channel and Toy Polloi, as well as a few other people have reviewed these. But this particular one has never been reviewed, the Toys R Us Copper exclusive, so I thought we'd all take a look at it. The packaging, of course, is in all Japanese, but you can see it does say Takara 1998 and made in Japan. The rest of it is in this very bright and bold packaging. Really cool look. On the back, you got a little bit of artwork and a whole bunch of Japanese writing, in which I can read none of. So as that goes, we'll crack it open and take a better look at the Henshin Cyborg. Alright, so here he is out of package, but before we get too much into him, let's take a quick look at some of the accessories that did come included in the package. So he does come with this catalog. Just got pretty cool images, again, all written in Japanese. Can't help with what it says, but I am interested in what it says. Different arm attachments and chest and helmet attachments or head attachments. Here you can see what the robot head looks like when you take off the head itself. Got like a Terminator-esque feel to it. Really cool. And then these are some of the other figures in the line. You also get this propeller, and it does spin, and it's also made of a translucent smoky material that just pops over the hand of the you take the hand off and pop these attachments on. So doing a little research, the Henshin Cyborg, I think Neo is new. Henshin is transformation in Japanese, to transform the body, and that is something that these figures do. He also has this very bug-like attachment, which is also in that translucent smoke look, but this looks very alien or bug-like, which also will clip right over the arm. And what it does, I couldn't tell you, but very interesting. And he also, in the bag, had this as well, which is another type of arm attachment, which is quite tremendous. What this does, I couldn't tell you either, but it looks like it does something pretty cool. At least that's what it appears. And of course, thankfully, because I wasn't really sure, he does come with the normal hands. They do got a mechanical look to them as well. So let's get them. Alright, so let's check them out. So articulation wise, figure is pretty well articulated. So with the head, left and right, of course, and up and back. No tilt though. The shoulders can go quite a bit out. Full 360. You've got a rotation right at the elbow and a 90-degree bend. I like how they did the parts for the joints in a silver to break up all that clear plastic, as well as the wrist has a hinge and swivel. The hands are slightly rubbery and in this pretty much gesturing hand or relaxed hand look. Then at the torso, you'll notice there's a rubber band inside him. It's very reminiscent of like a Mego rubber band for the old 70s style Mego figures. Seen something like this in the Hulk, but it's a band that attaches the hip to the upper torso or the lower torso. So it's got a hinge in that regard. And there's this design on the plastic, as you can see. So it's kind of got to line up in a certain way to actually be facing forward. Then the hips forward, almost 90. They only go, they go all the way out, which is pretty good. Double jointed knee. And then a hinge and swivel at the foot. So pretty good articulation, a bit of an improvement over the original Henshin Cyborgs. So not too bad there. Taking a closer look at the actual Cyborg, you can really see into the motor of the thing. It looks really cool. Did attempt to try and take the head off, but I didn't want to put too much stress on it because this clear plastic material, it has as you could kind of hear, it's kind of got like a kind of a fragile feel to it. So I didn't want to push it and crack something. This is a 27-year-old figure, so you got to be handling it with kid gloves. But the design of it's really cool. Another thing to note too, this thing has a battery in it because it has a light right here in the chest. Now this has been in the package obviously 27 years. It's not very likely that this is going to work. As you can see, there is a pull tab here. I am fully expecting to have to take this out and replace the batteries. I don't currently have the batteries, so I don't know if we're going to get to see a light up feature. It will be quite amazing if it did work right out of the box after sitting for so long, but let's have a go and see what happens. And there's the button there. Let's see if it lights up. And it does not, which is to be fully expected. So I'll take that apart and see if they have leaked. Hopefully not, but we'll check that out. But the design, again, super interesting. All the mechanical parts. Such an interesting design concept. Really, really cool looking figure. And then we'll do a comparison soon to see how he stacks up against G.I. Joes. Alright, I've just removed the tiny screw in the back. And looks like luckily it's not corroded. But I'm going to go ahead and pop those out so that we can preserve him in mint condition. You can actually see it's wet right there, right on the top of that one. So and inside, no corrosion. So really got lucky and dodged a bullet. This guy eventually, with the wetness you've seen on that battery, would eventually corrode it. So he was opened up just in time. You know, I'm a big proponent of keeping, especially vintage things, mint in package. But in cases like this, I think it makes more sense to remove it. And I think we got to this one just in time. Closer inspection, I did notice the slightest bit of corrosion there. So, caution. Rubbing alcohol is a great way to clean this kind of stuff up, just to make sure nothing goes south. Alright, so let's take a look at comparison time with the Neo Henshin Cyborg dead center in the middle. On the left here, you have the White Elephant Toys Super Joe. On the Cotswold body, you can see it's a bit shorter, as well as to his right, you have the classic G.I. Joe body in clear, also slightly shorter than the Neo Henshin. So most Joes are about 11.5 inches, and this one will measure 12. And looking at that Joe over there, you see that is kind of the idea of the Henshin Cyborgs of the, I believe, 70s, where they put motor parts and a different head sculpt with a robot head underneath it in it, which was kind of the idea for the Henshin Cyborgs. That is not one. Again, that is I believe it was a G.I. Joe con exclusive figure or club exclusive figure. But the same principle applies. But that's a look at the scale comparison. Alright, so in conclusion, Neo Henshin Cyborg from Takara 1998. Really super cool figure, great homage to the original Henshin Cyborgs, and a really cool item for my collection. I'm really happy I finally picked one up. They're priced kind of all over the place on eBay. I got this one mint in package for $65 plus shipping, so not terrible. There are deals to be found, but not something you can easily build a collection on with a budget, but not bad. It's a really cool figure. Glad to have added it to the collection. It is really interesting to look at, to pose, check out. It does have a bit of a fragile feel to it, so it's not something you definitely want to hand kids or anything, but really cool looking figure. Great item from Takara's collection of G.I. Joe related style items. Just a really cool figure. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at it, and until next time, thanks for watching.